and welcome to my YouTube channel. It's a good day to be alive. And today I'm going to be doing questions and answers. I got some questions that I'm going to be addressing on today's episode. But real quick, have you subscribed to my YouTube channel? If you haven't, click on the red button and please turn on your notifications so that you'll be the first to get notified when my contents come online. Okay, real quick. Question number 1 says, is it okay for a guy to ask a lady out? And this came from Timmy. I try to avoid absolutes where there are no clear rules as to why those things shouldn't happen. But I'm going to answer this question from a personal point of view and from experience, okay? Every time I've seen, more often than not, you see women who ask men out and the relationships don't quite end the way they want or hoped, or the woman becomes the sustainer of the relationship simply because she's the one that initiated the relationship. What does that mean? You ask the guy out and then he accepts. In the long run, he expects you to do everything. You're the one that needs to keep up with the phone calls. You're the one who needs to be checking up all the time. And before you know it, you begin to have, experience some kind of burnout because, you get tired. And then you begin to feel that feeling of, was I even good enough? Did he even care about me? Did he like me enough? Maybe I'm more crazy about him than he is about me, and yada, 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 yada. Yes, there are exceptions to the rules, but more often than not, that's how the story ends. So I would say, give enough green lights, okay? Don't assume that he's not understanding the green light or he's too shy, he can't make a move. That's actually very untrue, right? When a guy is into you, he's into you. If you create a safe place, if you create a safe environment for you to be able to talk, be friends, okay? You also don't want to be asking a guy out who already has somebody in a relationship with. So your first assignment will be trying to even be friends with this person so that you can do your under G investigation, like undercover investigation. You want to know what is he like, how is he going to respond if you were to say that to him. Is he in a relationship? How does he see, what are his value system? Because if this person has a certain kind of value that makes him see a girl who asked him out a certain way, and then you go and shoot your shot, you would have shot yourself out of the scene, right? So these are things that I would suggest that you do. Give enough green lights and then allow him to make that move so that it takes the commitment of the both of you. Question number 2, what keeps a man or a guy in a relationship? And this came from Chima. I don't know why it's women that are asking all the questions, right? What keeps a man in a relationship? So before I answer that question, I want to say this real quick. Relationships are like cooking, okay, for foodies in the house. You can go to the market and purchase the same ingredients to make a pot of soup or even stew or even jollof rice, right? The same ingredient, but the food won't come out the same. It won't taste the same. Why? Because of the peculiarities of the individuals that are preparing this food. Okay, so somebody may like more pepper, another person may like more salt, somebody may like little tomatoes, another person may like more tomatoes. These are the ingredients are there, baseline, but how you apply them has to be in peculiarity with who you're in a relationship with. So I'm going to speak generically, but as you listen to what I have to say generically, please try to do due diligence and apply the advice that you receive, and it affects your relationship. So I would say, both from experience and training, that the average man wants a safe place. In fact, having that safe place has become even more evident in the present world that we live in, because men are going through a lot that are not being talked about. A man wants to be able to know that he's safe with you. He can trust you, like you are his backbone. You will be there for him, come rain, come shine. You won't judge him. He doesn't have to be performing for you to honor him. That you honor him in his down times, you honor him in his high times. He wants absolute and total acceptance without any restriction. A man wants acceptance. A man wants to be given attention. A man wants to be affirmed. They want to be appreciated. The world around them puts a lot of pressure around them to be a man. I mean, I don't even know what that means in current time, right? I want to be a man. That if you can ease off some of that pressure of being manly all the time and just be appreciated, be pampered sometimes, let him know that he matters and that you see him, that whatever effort and whatever input that he's making, however he's providing, however he's protecting, whatever he's doing to make you feel like he is your man, that you see it and that you appreciate it. He wants to be honored, and he doesn't want that honor to come from a place of because he's footing the bills. Even when he's not, he wants to know and be sure that that honor is not going to diminish. And lastly, I think that every man wants to be respected. I mean, honor and respect are pretty much the same thing, right? But he wants to be respected. That if you want to criticize him, you want to consider his ego, his personality as a man, that you attack the issue, not his person. So let me give you an example of that. So there's a situation, right? And maybe he didn't live up to expectation, or maybe he even cheated, right? You address the problems that led up to the cheating or the decision that brought to that point of infidelity, and not now putting your finger at him and now making everything about his life inadequate because of his shortcoming in decision or a poor sense of judgment. So focus on the problems, that the issues that you have, not on the individual, and continually create that safe place. Let him know that when he comes back and puts his head on your lap, it's not when you want to make demands that Junior needs a new shoe, or maybe the money that he gave you last week was not enough. Just allow him to be in that moment. Men are under a lot of pressure and are having to deal with responsibility. If he knows that coming in contact with you relieves that burden, that aura of responsibility, you're definitely going to be able to keep him, whether you're very beautiful or not. And also, you want to be able to pay attention and know if your man is giving to eyes, I like her to look good. Anytime we're going out, I want her to be turning heads. There are men who like that too. So don't say, I'm not into fashion, I don't like to make up, so therefore you'll be looking haggard all the time. And then when he wants to go out, he'll just give you one story. I'm going for one burial. It's not a burial, it's a dinner. But because he knows that you're not going to live up to expectation, he'd rather not just go out with you. And then lastly, for time's sake, I'm going to address what are the things that make love go cold. Ooh, that's a big one. That's a big one. First, familiarity. When two people in a relationship become too familiar with each other, the love can go cold. When you're not intentional about spicing up your relationship, doing things differently, keeping the excitement, not leaving the excitement to one person. Don't let your relationship not be so much about responsibility, activity, things that be serious things. There's no fun, there's no play, there's no intentionality about caring, no sensitivity. Your spouse can be having a bad day and you not even notice it. Being complacent, that can make a relationship go cold. Nagging, tension, strife. There's nothing that snuffs out love in a relationship like like strife. Okay, like someone like me, I'm an atmosphere person. There are people who live in the atmosphere. You will get the best out of them as long as the atmosphere is positive, has good vibes, it's healthy. You get anything out of them. But if the atmosphere around you is always tense, a conversation with you, hello, how are you doing, ends up in 3 hours of complaints, okay? Or let me say, so sweetie, how was your day? So this time my boss now did me this my friend now did me that, and in fact this country, I mean, you just give up a lot of bad air. The person doesn't want to be around you. But if being around you makes me want to gives me that feeling of positivity. Whenever I talk to this person, my spirit is uplifted. I mean, for me and my husband, I'm very intentional that every conversation I have with him, I always give him something that boosts his energy. So we can have a conversation, I can tell him, sweetie, you're the best thing that happened to me. And then we talk a little bit. I'm intentional about that. And I don't flatter him. Okay, because when you begin to flatter your spouse, it looks like you're lying to them. I look for something that is true, something that he can relate with, that is true about something that may have happened in the day or maybe in a week, just to keep that confidence going. If you're conscious about making your environment healthy, fun, safe, avoid familiarity, you are able to sustain the fire of love and build friendship. When we talk about love, when people say love dies, maybe they're talking about the butterfly in their belly. The butterfly dies. It dies, just in case we're not told, it dies very well. In fact, in the first 3 months, probably will be dead. But to keep good friendship can live for as long as you both are living. Okay, build that friendship, keep the spark going, be conscious about creating an erotic space. I talked about that in my previous videos. For married couples, keep that. Don't be so much about Mpa Junior, mommy neka, buy me this, we need to do that, there's PTA meeting. Talk about yourselves, talk about fun things, watch a movie, have a good laugh. These things help. They really help. Okay, so I think this is much I'm going to be able to take on today's episode. Please, if you have questions, topics that you want me to treat, please leave that in the comment section below this video, and I promise in my next video I'm going to try and do justice to them. I hope today's video was helpful. Don't forget to subscribe and click on your notification button so that you'll be the first to get notified. Until I come your way next time, hasta la vista.